Little mailbag time here on Chicago Bears Now. My name is Harrison Graham from Camp Hallis Hall. Who's a surprise player or two that could make the Bears 53-man roster? There's two players to me, and we're filming this after the second practice, so maybe a couple more practices have happened since when you're watching this. But J.P. Richardson on offense, rookie undrafted free agent receiver out of TCU, had a really good OTA period, had a nice one-handed catch, a couple other plays on day one of camp. He's making plays. And on defense, Nahshon Wright, former third-round pick with the Cowboys, who's bounced around a little bit, went to Minnesota briefly as well. Press man corner, who's never put it all together, but has been working some with the ones with Jaylen Johnson absent. Those are two players I would say heading into training camp. I don't even know if they would have truly been on the roster bubble, and now I think they're at least in the mix a couple days in. I mean, if you're working with the ones, you have a decent shot to make the roster. So keep an eye on Richardson on offense, Wright on defense, two deep position groups. But, with Luther Burton banged up on offense, there's been opportunities for J.P. Richardson with Jaylen Johnson on NFI, and Zay Frazier misses some time. Nahshon Wright's getting some looks there. So two players to monitor over the next few weeks. Who is this year's Bears training camp darling? I think Richardson fits that mold, just kind of the textbook, not the most athletic, but just quick slots, white wide receiver. It's just kind of textbook, right? Like overachiever type. Can he make the team? We're all excited to see, but there's a lot of candidates for it. Joel Wilson could be another one. Bears training camp darling. Let us know who it is. Benjamin Sandman, I would go with Hendrickson for sure in a trade. Leading up to this mailbag on our live show, we were talking Micah versus Trey Hendrickson. I don't think Trey would cost as much because he's older. Clearly, contract talks with Cincinnati have not been smooth for 2 years now. I mean, he's been wanting a new deal since last offseason, but tremendous pass rusher, one of the best in the world. Average run defender, but very, very good player. If you could get him without giving up a first-round pick, I would be all over that if I was the Chicago Bears. Cornelius with the $10 super chat. He says, I disagree, Harrison. I think we can make a trade for a pass rusher without knowing if Caleb is the guy or not. We can win with Caleb as a game manager. You can, but can you win big? And I think we found out with Mitch, the answer was no. We'll always ask what if for that 2018 team. If the field goal goes in, how far would that individual team have gone? I don't think they would have won a Super Bowl, but they might have gotten to the NFC Championship game. Maybe they do get to a Super Bowl. But regardless, I don't think all of a sudden if that kick goes in, Mitch just at least continues this level of play. If not, takes it further, right? Like, I think it just, as time went on, it was clear Mitch wasn't that guy. His peak was being a bus driver. And look, there's value in being a consistent year in and year out bus driver, but turnovers started to creep in for Mitch, and accuracy started to go down. For whatever reason, after 2018 felt like a nice jump. It's like, all right, year 3 coming up, time to really take off and be one of the 10, 12 best quarterbacks in the world. Didn't happen. And Caleb Williams, who had a much better rookie year than Mitch Trubisky did, I think he's in a spot of, I agree that you can win with him playing just a little bit better than this. Like if he's just similar to Mitch in 18, but maybe generates more big plays. But how big can you win? I don't think you can win a Super Bowl with a bus driver. And I think Jalen Hurts is probably the closest to that. But even he has some elite traits. He throws a very good deep ball. He generates big plays with his legs. And the Eagles have built the best team in the league. Like, the Bears have built a nice roster here. It's not the Eagles. Let's just be honest. So I think you got to be striving for more. And let's just face it. You took Caleb Williams number 1 overall. He better be more than a freaking game manager. I agree. Like, could you win a decent amount of games with him just taking care of the ball, making good decisions? You run the ball and play defense? Yeah. But, I'm kind of tired of that. So if you are going to make a blockbuster trade for a Micah, for a Trey, or whatever, Caleb's got to be more than a game manager. Sorry, that's just, we got to have a higher standard for the number 1 pick. Okay, get yourself a cutoff hoodie. They're starting to sell out. We still have some left, but Couple sizes have sold out. If you want to get in on the action, chatsports.com/Bears hoodie. They're 40% off. They were $55. Now they're $33. It's an awesome deal. Take advantage. I got mine hanging up in the rack back there in the changing room, and it's fantastic. Great material, comfortable. Love rocking it on the show, and you guys will like rocking it as well. Jeremy Keller, would you trade for Cook, James Cook, pay him $15 million a year? What's the trade? Is it a second-round pick? I probably would not do that right now. If you told me you could get him for a third or a fourth, or maybe a third, get like a fifth or sixth back plus Cook, yeah, I'd think about it, man. Especially if you're going to lean into this offense and have a dynamic running game and go with James Cook and DeAndre Swift. So I'd be open to it. I like James Cook a lot. The Bears keep talking up their running back room, thinking it's underrated, and maybe it is. We'll see. I think DeAndre Swift's going to have a good year, but James Cook's a better player, so I would definitely be tempted. Stefan, are you concerned about Jaylen Johnson's injury? Mildly. If he's ready before week 1, that's all I care about. I think he's one of a few players on this team where as long as he's in shape and healthy for week 1, I feel pretty confident about how he'll play. Now, there could be a week or two of maybe he's not playing at his absolute A game, new scheme, couple new things there, but he's been around. He knows what he's doing. Good player, established. This scheme fits him well. So as long as he's ready for Minnesota on Monday night, I'm not overly concerned with what he's currently dealing with. Subscribe to the channel. We're going to have content all year long here on Chicago Bears Now. We do these mailbags on our live shows as well every Monday and Thursday, 4 o'clock Central Time, so do not miss out on that. But we're talking training camp update and reactions, trade rumors, injury updates, and a whole lot more. You're not going to want to miss it. It's a huge season coming up for the Chicago Bears. Okay, Clifford, will Caleb play less, same, or more in the preseason? I honestly don't know. He didn't play a ton last year. I would like to see him play a little bit. I think if you're not an established quarterback in this league, you should play a decent amount. I don't think he's established yet. So Ben Johnson has kind of hinted that they're not going to overplay in the preseason. Now, I think he's remaining flexible, probably based on progress and where things sit. But I'd like to see him play. I don't know how much he will, how much he won't. They have a joint practice in 2 days before the first 2 preseason games. So if they get what they need out of those, you may not see him much in the preseason, but I'd still like to see him some. DC Viper, could Joel Wilson beat out Durham Smythe for tight end 3 on the depth chart, or is he more likely a tight end 4? I think he's more likely a tight end 4, but it doesn't make it impossible. I think when the pads go on, that'll be a big deal. Can he show some blocking chops? Because that was a big part of Durham Smythe's the signing was, hey, come in here, be a blocking tight end when we run certain 12 and 13 personnel sets, especially with Colston Loveland coming in off that surgery. Like, he's going to block some, but his role, especially as a rookie, is going to be more so as a receiving tight end. So Smythe kind of fills that void as from a blocking standpoint. So I think Wilson's probably more like the 4th guy, but I think there's a decent chance they'll carry 4. So I think he's got a path to this roster. You think the Bears make the playoffs this year? If so, type Y for yes. If you don't, you can type in for no. I hope so, man. I'd love to do some playoff watch parties. That would be a lot of fun, and Bears fans deserve it. So we're all hoping this is the year. We'll have to wait and see if it actually is. All right, Miles Scherstein. If Luther Burton isn't ready by the preseason, would you consider sitting him for first game of the regular season? Oh, what do you mean isn't ready? Like, if he misses all of preseason with the injury, but he's cleared by, like, he's healthy for week 1, that really comes down to the coaching staff. Like, do they think he'll contribute on game day in that week 1? If they do, then I would have him active. Like, I want the best players active. But if it's one of those where he hasn't practiced much, he's behind in the playbook, and he having him active, but they can only put him out there for a few snaps, then maybe you'd go with someone else for week 1. But to me, if he's healthy and he's ready to go, like, he needs to be active and out there. Maybe he's not full throttle starter or anything like that. Maybe he's behind Olamide Zaccheaus, but I would think you could still have a package of plays for him. Christian Edits 42. What would a successful season look like for the Bears? I think playoffs. You make the playoffs, I think it's a good year. If you don't, there's still a world where it is, especially if Caleb Williams has a big year and is established as this team's franchise quarterback going into next year. Maybe defense isn't quite up to snuff and they go at 8-9 or something in that scenario, just miss out on the playoffs. But I think the two most important things this year: one, do you feel good about Caleb heading into 2026? If you do, that's a good thing. Two, make the playoffs. I think anything beyond that is gravy, is icing on the cake. If we get one or hopefully both of those things checked off this year, Caleb does have a good year, ascending up, heading into 26, and you make the playoffs, I think you got to be pretty happy about the trajectory of this franchise. All right, appreciate all of the questions. If you have more, you know where to find me, at HGramNFL, Twitter, Instagram. Going to spend some time this weekend catching up on some DMs, so if you've been waiting, apologies. I will get caught up on those, especially on Instagram. So fire in there, and we'll see you there. Bear down.